Hi, my name is Thomas Middledorp, and this is the first development log entry for Cold Logic, which is a first-person survival game that I'm currently working on. These development log entries will be weekly to coincide with weekly builds of the game that I'm uploading to Steam. The game is currently not publicly available because it is in what I'm calling pre-alpha, which is to say that it is not actually a playable game yet so much as a collection of proof-of-concept prototypes for systems that I want to include. And all of the assets are just placeholders just so that I have something to work with while I'm getting everything up and running. My plan at the moment is to get all of the systems and features implemented and functional and get some sort of a, thing that is recognizable as a playable game working, at which point I'll move into a closed alpha and start trying to get some playtest feedback. I do expect that development progress will be slow because I have a full-time job that is not working on Cold Logic. I wanted to get these devlog entries going really early in the development process anyway, partly because I think it will be interesting as a retrospective to look back at this super early stuff once the game is finished, and partly as an incentive for myself. I have a lot of ideas that I want to talk about, a lot of things that I want to implement, but I've decided that I'm only going to talk about things that I've actually implemented. So if I want to talk about something, I have to implement it, then I can show it off and talk about it. So there's my incentive to actually implement stuff. And also then I won't just rant for multiple hours at a time. So let's go into the game and see what I have so far. So I have some trees, and it's a survival game, so you need to eat. You can eat MREs, you can drink water, you can do both at the same time. I haven't yet tweaked the rates of, consuming food and water and the rates that you burn energy or anything like that yet. If we go for a bit of a wander through the woods, you might run into a turret, which will track you if you get close enough and shoot at you. The tracking range is really short at the moment just because it kept on shooting at me when I was at the table, which was annoying. You're probably going to want some way to defend yourself, so we have a selection of tools. The revolver isn't actually working yet, so I'll put that one down. The semi-automatic pistol is in pieces. Well, if I grab the slide, I can grab the barrel and attach those together and grab the recoil spring, stick that on there. Grab the receiver, slap that whole thing on top. That's starting to look a bit more usable. Got a couple of magazines here. This one's got a few rounds in it. Put them back in. Pop that into the gun. That is now loaded. Now if I come over here, I can shoot the turret and it disables it. It doesn't explode yet, to be implemented. If you run out of bullets, we have handy dandy ammo box. Can chuck some of these into a spare magazine, pop out the old one, grab the new one, and load it again. It's not going to do much against a bigger adversary like that. He's not actually functional yet anyway. So we might want something a bit more heavy duty, like a missile launcher. The missiles don't actually explode yet, they just, well, shoot off into the distance. They will explode before the released version is out, I assure you. And if you need to, take all of your stuff with you, you can grab a handy duffel bag, chuck all of your stuff in it, your not yet functioning revolver, your ammo box, and so on. So a couple of MREs and some water, and take it over to somewhere a bit more secure. Nope. Yep. Doesn't have a help system yet, but that's fine. Door does open. It's not that dark, but you can turn on a light, stuff like that. you can also, if you're, well, because the turret didn't actually explode yet, you can turn that turret back on, at which point he will start making you hungry again. So I'll just double down on this food. This gun as well, that I showed you putting together before, you can also take it all back apart again. You can pull all of the rounds back out of the magazine. You can pull the top off the receiver. You can pull the various parts apart again. And, oh, that was a bit careless of me. I left a round in the chamber there. Should be careful there. I could have shot myself in the leg. Okay, and so we then come to that is not actually implemented yet, not talking about it. This, on the other hand, you can get into, and it does move about. So this is pretty much just a proof of concept of the way that I want to do the controls, which is like it doesn't sort of have inertia or proper physics yet. It's sort of you know, you can see it's not actually like lurching forwards and backwards as you accelerate and decelerate and so on. But if I just top out of it, it actually has this handy remote control feature at the moment, just so I could sort of watch it while it was driving around. So when the hatch opens, you're remote controlling it. So the way that the controls work is the left and right tracks each have separate gearing. So if you, for example, set the right track into forwards and the left track into reverse, it'll just turn on the spot. If you set both tracks into first, it'll just go forwards. If you set both tracks into reverse, it'll just go backwards. If you set just the right track into first and left into neutral, it'll kind of do this turn on the spot, or the right track into second, it'll go a bit faster. If you put the left track into first now, it'll go faster but keep turning, and so on. And I quite like this because it makes it feel a little bit less like a traditional sort of vehicle, traditional video game vehicle that controls basically like a car, and makes it feel a little bit more like you're, operating, like manually operating a big heavy machine, which I just think is kind of cool. And basically this whole game is just going to be things that I think are kind of cool. That's pretty much everything that I have so far. As I said, it's still very early in development. None of the stuff is actually final. But all of the stuff that I've added so far has made me either grin or giggle when I first get it working. So, it makes me feel like I'm on the right track with what I'm wanting to make. I just need to keep making more progress. So check back next week and you'll see what progress I've made. It'll probably be a shorter video. As I said at the start of this one, progress is probably going to be quite slow due to personal time constraints. But I will definitely be changing at least one thing and making a short video to show it. So check back and find out what it is. Thanks for watching.